Audience buying is definitely where we want to get to as an industry. I think anybody you speak to on my side of the desk would say, and probably on both sides of the desk would say, a reliance on age and gender demographics for transactional purposes is really outdated, right? So we have all this data that can tell us who's watching what content. Why can't we transact on those more granular targets, right? More strategic targets for clients. So we've spent a lot of time in developing new ways of buying inventory, whether that's programmatic TV or addressable television. And we're using them on a case-by-case basis for a lot of clients. Some clients are opting in a little bit more than others. So we're starting a slow evolution away from age and gender demography to more strategic targets and even guaranteeing those strategic targets in certain instances. I think we still have a ways to go, right? I think from an agency perspective, we're still very much held accountable to the adult 18 to 49 GRP that we're delivering for our buys, and not necessarily what sort of business impact that's delivering. It's as long as you get me this price on this demographic, then you're doing okay. Versus, all right, I want you to buy the audience that we need to hit, and then if that audience then goes and makes some sort of action, whether that's a purchase or a drive to a website or a store visit, that's really where we want to get to, right? Because we have all the data that can tell us that. We haven't experienced any kind of shortage of inventory when it comes to audience-based buying. Every network group has their own audience-based buying platform that we can leverage, and they're making a lot of inventory available through those platforms. And then even outside of those platforms, we're still getting access to inventory from our own programmatic television efforts. So as we optimize our plans across the whole marketplace, we're working on individual deals with each individual network group to secure even more inventory from their kind of audience-based bucket, if you want to call it that. But we haven't really seen a shortage of supply yet. I would imagine that as more and more advertisers opt into this buying tactic, then that's a decision that the networks will have to make, is how much they really want to make available to these more strategic audience targets versus just optimizing based on a demo. To me, addressable basically just means people-based marketing, right? So we're targeting an ad to one specific person. In the television world, we can't really target down to the person level, so we're targeting to the household level or the device level, right? So addressable doesn't have to be just linear television. It could be VOD, it could be connected TV. Basically anything that can leverage a subscriber list or household ID information, we can serve addressably. And that's what we're doing at Dentsu Aegis. We're building a custom platform where it's an addressable marketplace, and finding all of these partners where we can leverage their subscriber data or viewership data and target those households specifically based on our own view of the consumer target that the client wants to reach. I love the data offerings that are out there right now. Basically, you can target anybody you want based on any type of data you'd like, and you can target them nationally based on content alignment, or you can target them addressably, as we spoke about, down to the specific household. So we haven't really seen a lack of data, right? The question is, what's the right data to use, and when would you use it? So you mentioned ACR technology. There are a lot of partners now with ACR technology, and I think that's great. It's really changing the game in terms of measurement. So how can you determine if somebody's been exposed to an ad? What do they do after after that ad exposure occurred? So ACR is really changing the game when it comes to that type of attribution work. It may also challenge Nielsen in terms of just an overall television measurement tool, right? Because now they're getting really granular data at scale. You know, Vizio is somewhere around 10 million households. Samsung has a product. Obviously, you have the Sambas and the Alfonsos of the world also doing the same thing. So there are a lot of people in the space with a lot of good tech behind them. Then you have media partners like Roku who are using it not just for measurement, but also for targeting. So you can really use all of the data in a lot of different ways. But again, the question is, which data do you use and when? Which do you use up front for targeting purposes? Which do you use on the back end for measurement purposes? And it's muddy. It's, you know, not all the data is perfect, and you have to really go through the methodology of how they're collecting everything. But I'm actually bullish on the data marketplace. I like it. I like the fact that we can use any sort of data stream we'd like within almost any type of targeting tactic, whether it's an addressable TV campaign, a programmatic TV campaign, a connected TV campaign. We're leveraging a lot of different data sources for targeting and measurement.